Hello, how's it going? Just doing a little video log of where I'm at in my current frame of mind and thought in this moment. I'm at work. I am a custodian, which is kind of like a janitor. We kind of just we give ourselves that title, custodian, because janitor kind of, I guess, has a negative connotation to it. The difference between a janitor and a custodian, the reason there are two different words is custodian comes from the same root word in the English language that custody is. Custodian pretty much means keeper of the keys. That's why I got all these keys. I take custody over the school grounds. And so, I've learned how to pride myself in that, because there is kind of a negative connotation to the general outlook and overall look in society.
The sick society. Society.
Society!
Society, man.
Society!
Society.
Society!
Society.
Onto the higher echelons of what is considered to be a high quality job. It's kind of funny because the most important things in the world are often paid the least amount of money. Food, schools, teachers, the things that are kind of necessity, essential. In this coronavirus thing, what they're calling essential workers, they're not exactly the upper echelons of society. Society tends to favor the most unneeded things. So like football stars, they're making millions of dollars. Movies and TV stars, millions of dollars. Construction workers are all middle class. And so, along with this class structure comes this hierarchy of job positions. It's the people that make sure that your children are learning in a safe, clean environment are kind of at the bottom of that totem pole of societal hierarchy. I just kind of want to say that the whole social hierarchy that I'm explaining does not vibe with how I perceive importance in society. I kind of disagree with it. There are people in this world that will treat those people, because they're not famous, because they're not popular, because they're not, in one of these hierarchies, other people in those hierarchies will treat those people like garbage. We've all seen it. I've seen it. But, there were people, and I don't feel so bad about being a custodian, because there are famous people, hierarchy, famous people, who were custodians and janitors and the lower echelons, like Kurt Cobain, right? Nirvana. He started out as a janitor, and he went on, he's a musician too. He went on to do Nirvana. Jim Carrey, he was a custodian. He was a janitor. David Bowie, he was a butcher. I got a little list right here. Ozzy Osbourne was a abattoir. I don't know what an abattoir is. I'm going to have to look that up. Somebody tell me what an abattoir is. It's, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Abattoir. An abattoir. I don't know. My ignorance. Success is different for everybody. And what we define as successful, anything that we tell ourselves about what things should or not be, in a sense, is a egotistical, is letting the ego come in. And I know we've all heard about ego. It's the big enemy you're supposed to stay away from. Our ego is always going to be there. It's always going to be telling us something throughout our whole lives. And it's our choice to listen to that or to not listen to it. That's why people practice meditation, because they're learning to quiet their mind and silence the ego. Your ego can pick you up when you're feeling down. And I think what most people condensate towards what ego is the high part of it, where you're the high extreme, where you think your shit don't stink. However, everything that you tell yourself comes from the same inner voice and inner dialogue. That's the high extreme, or when you don't have enough of the ego. Now I'm going to say somewhere there's a fine balance between too much and not enough. And of course, a lot of people that meditate, they're trying to silence that voice. And that's good, because it's good to learn how to control it, but that doesn't mean that it never goes away, because it's still your ego that tells you you should be meditating, you should be doing all these things. And yeah, it may be right. Maybe we should be doing those things, but we shouldn't let it have control over our well-being. So what is success? And of course, it's going to be different to every person. And I know that now that I'm 29, I'm about to be 30, for me, there was a huge ego shift. You know, growing up, I had really high expectations. Really high expectations, that's because my ego telling me I should be this. I should be that. And when you don't get those things, it causes a form of ego death. Lately, what I've been learning to do, and still practicing, because it's always an ongoing practice, I've learned that there is no end point. This is where existentialism comes into play. There is no meaning at the top. This is where existentialism comes into play. There is no meaning at the top. We've seen it happen to people that have gotten so high, and what do? I mean, I was just talking about Kurt Cobain. They become famous. Kurt Cobain despised being famous. In fact, I was listening to how Weird Al Yankovic called Kurt Cobain to ask him permission to use his song, Teen Spirit, because he did a parody of it. I forget how it goes. First, he congratulated Kurt Cobain on his success, and Kurt Cobain was mad that he congratulated him on his success and not his music. So that egoic spot just shows you that Kurt Cobain's idea of success, or something that he would allow someone to congratulate him by, was not on how famous he became or how successful he was, but he judged his success, or what he allowed to be congratulated by, on the quality of his music. Success, like I'm saying, is going to be different for everybody. And for me, I really have to, I'm still analyzing it. At the point I'm at right now, I'm not certain 100% what brings me complete happiness, complete ecstasy, complete, what's the word? Rapture. I am not 100%. I'm about 75 to 60%. I love to be around the people I love. I love making these videos. These videos actually do bring me happiness. I have yet, I believe, to encounter that feeling of rapture. And there's an esoteric part of me that believes rapture is saved until the day that when you die and you're on your deathbed and your brain releases into your bloodstream DMT. It's the same place that we go in our dreams. But I'm not afraid to go down tangents, even if they're wrong. That's a good thing. I believe that. I believe that I am open-minded enough to let my head and my mind fly to the beyond the limits. I'm not afraid to be at those heights. I'm not afraid of heights. But at the same time, I'm still grounded in reality. I always come back down and land from the flight. Success. Now, I know that what the general answer is. Success is love, that it's surrounding myself with people I love and finding hobbies that I love and doing things that I just love in general. That's the general answer that we're all striving for. But I still wonder if there are more things in this world and in this infinite universe than those kinds of things. I mean, I'm not even talking about money. I don't care about money. I've never been one who was extremely motivated by money. If you can give me an opportunity to connect with somebody musically, if I can play something on a guitar or in a band and I can see that you get it, I don't know, there's a communion in that that's more special than just saying it in a conversation, because I feel like And I know this is cliche, but words are so limited because they mean something concrete that everybody generally knows. But there are things in this world that are not so concrete. And I feel like only feeling, giving somebody your feeling, is the only thing that really transfers to another person that feeling that words, just saying it blankly with words, just cannot describe. I want to chase more of that feeling, and I'm not even sure what that means. But I'm trying, and that is part of my idea of success. So thank you for going with me on this thought tangent. I write the song because time is running out, but I have all the time in the world because I'm probably not going to be shooting a music video with this COVID thing going on. So we'll figure it out.